on the work ahead for his organization and for all of us here at ICPD Youth. Dr. Babatunde Osotimehin is the Executive Director of UNFPA. Before this appointment, Dr. Babatunde was Nigeria's Minister of Health, and prior to that was the Director General of the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, which coordinates all HIV/AIDS activities in the country of more than 150 million people. He was also a notable participant in the Cairo Population Conference, the Beijing Women's Conference, and UN Special Sessions on AIDS. Please welcome Dr. Babatunde.
Pa Agnon Laksono, Ibunaf, Pa Malarangan, Selamat Pagi. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, bonjour. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you once again to congratulate the two young leaders for a most powerful speech. And to also say that I felt very inspired by Agnes and a very positive attitude to life. Being young is being invincible. It's about shaping your life. It's about shaping yourself. It's about believing in yourself. It is about living your dream. And I was once like you. I dreamt, and it came to pass because I believed in myself. So I want to provoke all of you young people around the world that there is nothing that the human spirit cannot achieve, but you must believe in yourself. And you must do that which you think is right. When Monica was speaking, she talked about wanting to be a doctor or somebody aspiring to be a doctor. I think that stage has gone past. When I was young, every Nigerian mother would want his son or her son to be a doctor. But actually, the truth of the matter is that I think the world offers far more opportunities today than we could ever imagine. So, being a doctor, being a lawyer, being an engineer, which were the traditional things people went into, we've actually gone past that. I mean, see Monica. Wouldn't you like to have her as a daughter? And I can tell you that in this crowd today, there are young people who are software engineers. There are young people who are artists. There are young people who are creative. There are young people who actually all they do is to connect the dots for all of us. What I know is that the world of youth and the world of young people, the world that we live today, is one in which the matrix has changed. What determines our life has changed totally. What has not changed is our ability as elders and as older people to create a space, a safe space for young people to express themselves. That is the essence of this meeting, and that's why we're gathered. We're gathered here to create a safe space for young people, to enable them be able to think about themselves, aspire, think big. live a life which they dream about, a life unfettered by culture, a life unfettered by our own problems sometimes, our challenges, a life unfettered by what might appear to be societal issues, a life unfettered by discrimination. And I think that going forward, we as adults and we as parents and we as the next generation before this must step back a little, because I believe that the world will be a better place if we allow young people to determine their own lives and to be able to make choices about that life. Too many of them around the world today suffer from discrimination. And discrimination in all forms, sexual discrimination. Discrimination because some of them are HIV positive. Discrimination because of their gender. Too many girls in the world today are not at school because they're girls. Too many of them are married off too early before they even know what it is to be a woman. Too many of them have children whilst they're children. And to that extent, we destroy their potential. We never even know what they will have become if we allow them to go forward and live their own lives and live their dreams. Now, we in 1994 gathered in Cairo and agreed that we were going to allow young people to express themselves. We have come some way in doing that, and UNFPA has been able to facilitate that to a certain extent, and in many parts of the world we have seen progress. But I tell you, that progress is not good enough, that progress is not rapid enough, that progress has left behind girls like Nafisat that I know, who was married off to a man of 62 when she was aged 12. And she had to have a baby at the age of 14. And she ended up with a fistula. She was abandoned, and from then on, her life was in ruins. Too many of these happen, and too many of that should not happen. And so, looking at the International Conference on Population and Development Program of Action, and looking at what it is possible to achieve, what could have been, let's challenge ourselves and say that going forward, we shall allow young people to express themselves. We shall make opportunities available for them. We shall ensure that we create safe spaces for them. Today, and I think it's important to put that context quite clearly. Today, out of the 7 billion people in the world, 1.8 billion are young people, most of them in the developing world. 49% of the population of this country is under the age of 24. So you have a large population of people out there who are sometimes confused, sometimes they are misdirected, and sometimes they are just refused opportunities to go forward. And so, let us take the opportunity of this conference, which we have constructed in such a way to allow them to be the ones to put the program together, to allow them to be the ones to decide what they want to talk about, to allow them to be the ones to conclude on what the outcomes will be. Let us restrain ourselves and give them that opportunity to do so, and take seriously what the outcomes of this meeting is. Because I want to believe that the world not only belongs to them tomorrow, the world, it belongs to them today. There are too many examples around the world. Too many examples around the world. As we speak, there are changes that are happening around the world, in North Africa, in many parts of the world, that are inspired by young people. And I think it is these changes that must provoke us to think creatively about how we can make space for young people. Now, I am very particular about this, and the United Nations Population Fund, under my leadership, has decided that this is one area of significance that we're going to devote our time to. And I want to assure young people here today, and those that are online, that that is something we'll do. Protect their rights. Make sure that their reproductive health and their reproductive rights are protected. Make sure that they have access to information. Make sure that they have access to services. Make sure that they have access to education. Make sure that we work with others to create opportunities for jobs for them. And make sure that they are responsible young people growing up to adulthood. And to the extent that at the end of the day, we'll look back to this meeting that we have and thank ourselves that we were part of this new inflection point in the lives of young people around the world. I cannot end this without paying tribute to the president of this country. Indonesia has positioned itself as a global leader. Indonesia has provided leadership in many areas of human development. And we want to thank you for accepting to host this meeting. And let me thank the Coordinating Minister for Welfare for coming here today, and the two ministers, Ministers of Health and Youth, for gracing this occasion, because I think it also signifies what Indonesia thinks of young people around the world. And I want to say that given the fact that you have done this, and given the fact that when I look back, February this year, Indonesia was actually responsible for the leadership of the Commission on Population and Development, and the outcome of which is the best outcome that we've ever had in the Commission since we started. And I think that in itself, that speaks volumes to the fact that we as a people, and we as an organization, and we as a country in Indonesia have decided that these things must be given priority or place. Now, I will end by saying a few things. I come from a part of the world where young people are 70% of the population. Every time I think about it, and every time I think about what the responsibility we carry as senior people, I have a sense of urgency that we have to do far more than we're doing so far. And so, I want to challenge all of you to think about yourself, about the young people you relate to, and how you can make the world a better place for them. What are the things you can do to create opportunities for them? What are the things you can do to remove obstacles from their lives? How can we challenge culture? How can we challenge the organization, bureaucracy, all of the things that just ensures that young people don't go forward in their lives? Let us liberate their energy. Let us liberate their potential. If we do, what we are going to see is a world that all of us will see that is beautiful. A world where we would have creativity, innovation, a world where energy will be expressed, a world where inclusiveness would be there, a world where discrimination and rights would be asserted, a world where equity would be the watchword. I remain committed to this, and I can tell you that as the Executive Director of the United Nations Population Fund and my colleagues in the United Nations, we also remain committed to this because we believe that it is the right of every young person to attain this